actress.
I'll have to cut. I'll have to I'll have to
Okay.
barge in here. Of a film like Mani Karnika is what I'm saying. Okay, a film like Padmavati, which the film had an equal amount of role for the woman as well as the man. I think when that equality, see, and the women have to be mindful as actresses. Today I'm mindful. Like when I select a role, I even on the web space, at least there I have the upper hand right now because that's where at least I'm doing enough work. So you know, when I go to a filmmaker, a filmmaker approaches me and says, "This is your role." Like I mean, not bragging, but I've said no to 10 alt Balaji shows till now, and it's been constantly like the male has a bigger part or a longer part than the female, and I'm not okay with that because I really want to do roles in the web, at least in the web. You know, as actresses, we have that space where I go like I select the part I want to do. And you write the role according to what we think is right also. So it has to be collaborative. Or else don't come to me. So there are a lot of filmmakers, you know, who are now, I think, moving to web. In fact, I've met so many filmmakers. It's been amazing, Meghna. Like, you know, I go and do meetings with these really big filmmakers, and they all are coming to us, and they're going like, oh, we really want you to do our show. And I go like, but you just made such a huge film like 15 years ago, you know. And yeah, I didn't even know, like at that time I was dying to get a meeting with you, and today I'm sitting and dictating terms and conditions and I'm saying, no, I don't want to do your show, or I want to do your show, you know.
I'm going to bring Daria in, but just before that, quick question. Dirty picture. Did Vidya Balan make more than Nasiruddin Shah?
I wasn't negotiating at Balaji that time. I don't have access to his agreement.
All right, my point is made. Daria, so we talked about producers, we talked about educators and amazing women, super women, everybody's a super woman here. You direct, and directing has been a male bastion. Worse still, a director deals primarily with men. The cinematographer is mostly man, sound recordist, production designer. Tell me about that experience, having to tell men, womansplain to them what you want.
I think for me it's always a very tricky question, actually, the gender, because I'm always trying to run away from just gender specification. Because I don't believe in gender specification, I don't believe in national specification. When I'm coming, let's say, to Busan, or I'm coming to Berlinale, and I represent India, I feel comfortable with it.
You don't look Indian, but...
Yeah, this most of the time questions, and they're like, but you don't look Indian. Or, so where are you from? And I have issues with it, because I feel as we progress, we need just like get out with these strange labels that we're putting on ourselves. Or I'm mother, or I am Ukrainian, or I'm Indian, I'm woman, I'm man. Yes, you can if you choose to play the game, but I'm not choosing to play the game. Till now, just talking about labels, for example, I can't be in competition in Mami Film Festival, as well as Busan Film Festival, because I'm Ukrainian and I'm not Asian director. In Ukraine, I'm considered to be, of course, Indian director, and I can't apply for Ukrainian funds because I'm Indian director. I can't apply for NFDC, for example, because I'm Ukrainian director, and I have a lot of issues with it. Same with the gender. Absolutely. That when, for example, I like somehow most of my boys who work in our office, it's boys. We got incredibly talented writer. She's here, and she was our behind the scenes. And I think she was our first girl in the office. But when I'm hiring someone, I don't look who they are. I don't look where they are from or whether they are, again, man or woman. I just look at whether they're talented or not.
Have you had any Ukrainians?
No, I didn't. So I can't say that for me it's an important issue. Of course, at the same time, I can't be blind about it, because yes, when I'm on the set, for example, I make sure that I'm wearing, like I always think what I will wear tomorrow, because I know that I have to cover my breast, though I was lucky I didn't have big breast. And it is an issue, because I have a friend who, she's a director, she's an incredible director, she has really big breast, and she used to have long hair, and she's saying, because when I'm on set, I need to cover my breast, because all light men and people who are working for me, they just look at me. And like she's always like trying to wear something baggy, and it is an issue. And
do you feel any pushback from your key crew, cinematographers, sound recordists? Why do I take orders from a woman? Have you ever felt that?
It's interesting. I think sometimes they feel that they are pushed back, But definitely, subconsciously, when I talk even to some of my like key members, um, they might be uncomfortable taking some orders, but I don't know whether because I'm a woman or just because I'm pushy at some point of time. So I think it also comes from my mindset. So when I'm having debate, I don't come from the point of view, oh, I'm a woman, listen to me, or I'm so cool, now I'm the boss, listen to me. No. And I feel that's why also consciously they don't feel threatened there. So then it's just an equal battle. And my main issue with the industry, and I remember when I was struggling, I was meeting different people. First I was thinking maybe I should work as an AD or DA, and I met a lot of directors who wanted me to work with them. And our first conversation usually was starting from, hey, so what's up, babe? And as soon as this babe was coming, for me it was no-go. And unfortunately, I'm not a very straightforward person. I would just smile, and then he will introduce me to the entire team, and then I just will not show up forever. It wasn't a big issue, because the way how we interact with each other, or maybe how we used to interact, I don't know, I hope that right now something is changing. But it is very important that we understand that if we're professionals, we use just professional language. But other issue which I feel that right now with the social media, with everyone is trying to be hero, and like all of us we're fighting either for war or anti-war or against Pakistan or for women, against women, Me Too, and we are this, that's the cliche word, that Facebook warriors. And as soon as we start Facebook warriors, we're actually playing rhetoric of the entire issues. So in this case, nothing is kind of being prominent and important. So instead of actually doing something, we're just writing. So for me, if we're talking about, let's say, gender issues, what's the most important is like three things, is self-realization. For example, when I'm hiring the person, and yes, sometimes I feel when I had a boy and a girl, my preference was towards the boy, because I feel that I can connect to him more, I will be able to explain certain things more. But then, for me, it's self-realization, what I'm doing, why I want to hire boy instead of the girl. Do I feel threatened? Do I feel insecure? What? Then self-analysis, why do I feel threatened or insecure? And then third thing is implementation. When I'm taking some actions, yeah, fine, I realized something, I analyzed, but now what can I do to change that? Because when right now everyone is fighting just in words, I feel the most important thing to fight in action. Yeah. I don't need to write on Facebook or just to share some article. I can just be nice to my women, filmmakers. Because I think everyone will agree, we as women, we just don't support each other. Oh, yeah. We will be like, yeah. Yes, let's support each other, but then they're like, oh my God, she's just so dumb. I can't even hire her. And it is like that, especially in industry. You know how everything, like everyone just with everyone, and everyone is against everyone, and it's a big issue. And right now, unfortunately also, I feel that as a country, we really step back. If in 70s, we had like Pratima Bedi, who was running on the street absolutely naked, yeah, just as a protest of, that it's my body and I can do that. Right now, imagine if someone will right now run naked on the streets of, I don't know, Bandra. It will be intense.
We don't want to go that route.
It will be intense.
We don't want to get into politics. I want to bring...
No, but when we're talking about gender, we have to talk about politics, because the question whether are we being accepted as women.
I just, if I may interrupt,
Please,
I think the core of what she's saying is lovely. What she started with saying is that it's not, you're not trying to play the gender card. So I think if you just open your mind up and see, hey, I should get that job because I really deserve it, not because I'm going to play the woman card that, hey, men have better facilities or better opportunities. The minute you stop doing that, you're not feeding nonsense to yourself. You're not getting into that self-pity zone, into victimizing yourself and seeing, nahi, men have better opportunities, because I'm a woman, maybe you just weren't good enough, in all honesty. That comes with a lot of acceptance. Sorry, and just one thing, when we spoke about the role of, movies, in fact, it's also very business related. At the end of the day, if my film, because we manage talent as well besides producing film, if today one of my newer actors is getting to co-star, whether it's equal or not, I can't debate on the script yet, but if it's a better known actor, then, and he can demand a certain price because he's delivered a performance, not just because, oh, he's an actor, but because he's delivered hits, he's justified to get paid more. So I'm saying in those cases, you have to be practical, and it could happen the reverse way as well. I have new actors that are male, and they could get a role with a woman who's far more popular, and she will be paid more. So there's no grudge about that, which is, I think, the point she was trying to make. That
No, no,
just
Rajkumar Rao is my student from FTI, and I've heard these stories. So no debate about that. I want to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about social conditioning. Generations, tens of thousands of years of social. So my friends would get shocked that I'm a house husband, in spite of having 2 master's degrees and done whatever I've done. When Maharshi Karve married a widow, the women in his gully stood in line to spit on him because he'd married a widow. So sometimes women are their worst enemies.
I agree.
I think that's something
I want
that
to add quickly. I know we're running short time, but yesterday I had a student interview me 2-3 days ago, and they were talking for their magazine, and he said to me, off the records, I want to ask you a question. I said, sure. He said, my mom always said that women bosses are horrible. They are like really, really bad to work with. So, whenever you get a job, don't work with her. So I said, that is a stereotype. And that is a stereotype that we need to break. And like Daria said, by changing ourselves. Yeah, unless we change, that stereotype's not going to break. And this whole thing about women being women's worst enemies, I haven't experienced it because I've created an environment around me to facilitate that. So if I, as a leader, have set a good example, the other leaders who are women are expected to set that example. And we have had women who are HODs who have been horrible to their staff, and I have called them on it, like she said. So it's important that you make that change and change that stereotype. And changing stereotypes is never easy. It is always going to take some time. It's going to take. But if people like us can do it, we can really. And I hate hearing that. I would.
Too much to talk about it, I think, in the past. But I think it was very liberating for me, and I think I'm a very different person. I think post my article also, I didn't expect the article to be like an all India edition. When I did the interview with Renuka, who's also a friend of mine from college, she's a very well-known correspondent from the Bombay Times, and she's known me all her life. And she just came home and she just chatted about it. And I think one thing led to another, and I didn't even realize that so many things had happened with me as an actor, as a woman. And it was just so liberating for me to just talk to her about it. She took about 2 weeks before she published, 2 or 3 weeks, I think I'd forgotten also about the interview. 3 weeks ke baad, I think she published the article, and she sent me the article on email, and she was like, just proofread it. And I remember I was in Lucknow shooting for Rangbaz. That day it was an off day, and Lucknow was my hometown. So it was really like a full circle for me. And it really had started with me being molested by, a cousin of mine in Lucknow when I was a child. And I didn't speak about it for years because I just didn't realize that it was not my fault. And I kept thinking that it's my fault, that I let him touch me, or I let these things happen to me. So, although you may think that, oh, I'm such a fearless, confident girl out there in Bombay, surviving, working every day, there are lots of things that happen, in the past that you allow things to happen, and those things lead to who you really become in your professional space. And I think the minute I began the article with first accepting my fault, I said, yes, I was a different person a few years ago, and I would not want to be that person for the rest of my life, because I want to lead by example. I want to be able to be that person in the film industry who came out of nowhere, got educated, came into the films, is working on her own terms, is not ready to sleep for roles, is not ready to be okay with parties, and I'm not absolutely be ready to, let somebody walk all over me as a human being. So that's the stand I took. So I think it really did, and I think I realized that through speaking about it, I have really liberated myself as a human being. Forget woman, man. Yeah. This can happen to any of us. It happens to men. And it's such a deep conditioning, sir, because the guys just don't speak about it all their lives. Imagine like some boy who was molested at a younger age by a bus conductor or by a school teacher, by uncles living in those houses. And the conditioning, and I really have to thank my film, because that film really changed my conversations. It changed the way I look at another human being. It can be man, woman, anybody. And these conversations happen through all our panels because there were 5 women sitting in that panel and everybody had a point of view and none of them were wrong, whether it was a 20-year-old Plabita or like a 50-plus-year-old Ratna Pathak Shah or an Alankrita who was sitting there. Everybody had stories. And all of us realized that we are all in the same boat and there's absolutely no reason why we are pulling each other down. Whether you're a man, woman, anybody, transgender, everybody's been through shit. So let's not like try to put more shit into other people's faces. The good thing is that there is a conversation right now. There is an awareness, there's a realization. So you take a stand. Today I know that tomorrow if I go into this meeting with this director has the power to molest me or to say something that will harass me. But I have the choice, tell him, thank you sir, I do not want this meeting to be continuing. I'm okay. You do not want to give me this film, it's fine. But I have the right to walk out of this house right now because your conversations are making me uncomfortable. So I think that is very important and that's a stand one needs to take for themselves. So I don't judge anybody for whatever that they have done in their lives or how they want to facilitate their careers.
So, like Daria, you said, you have to introspect and take responsibility. Are we?
Great, I can't help you. I'm very happy for all these women, you know. And so I think that's important that you start thinking 5 million times before sending idiotic message or I don't know, dick pic to someone.
Absolutely.
And
But there are 2 sides to it, Daria. There are 2 sides to it. And Meghna knows this. I was accused of sexual harassment. And Meghna knows nothing happened. But what it did to me was devastating.
yeah, but see,
It was
it's
devastating
like
because
a-
it changed the way I interact with people. I am a very open person and I was socialized. 20 years I lived in the US. I give warm hugs and she said, Somi, you need to step back. It is horrendous. Both sides, whether it happens to you or you're accused falsely of
I
something
think
like that.
you know, to sum it up a little bit, because I think Ritika is already on the mic, the Me Too movement has really swung a certain way, right? And it's that force that it's swung with, that there will be collateral damage.
It's like
There will be
revolution.
collateral damage, it's like a
There will be
revolution.
people
So there'll be
who will be
collateral
killed.
damage for men, for women, for families who are involved. And that's something that we have to go through again to break a certain stereotype. And it's happened, and it's great that it's happened. To a large extent, that people are more conscious. I feel there is collateral damage in the fact that men can't be men, or they have to be different around women. Now, like after all their lives of being a certain way, they have to change, but it's okay. It's not going to kill them. Nothing's going
For me,
to.
made difference when I came to Bombay. People were showing me, you know, like, so don't come to this man, don't come to this
Yeah,
old man.
the
don't come
stereotypes
because,
were already
because they're
there.
pervert,
Yeah.
or because they will hit
Yeah.
on you. And I'm like, okay, so it means it's fine. Now, I know that it's not fine.
Yeah.
The fact that he's pervert or he will hit me, it's not fine.
Yeah.
And I know, yes, I can't, like, I'm not the one who will be writing letters in the newspaper because it doesn't work for me. But I know all I can do, I just have list of people with whom I just will not work.
Correct. Absolutely.
I'll make a point not to work with them.
Okay, we have to finish, but before that, you were talking about lipstick under my burqa. If you guys haven't seen it, go see that film. Not just because of
sure they have.
Ahana, but it sort of wraps up a lot of the things we've been talking about here today. Thank you all very much. I'm sure she's going to thank everybody.
I'm always against attending them, they're only women. So I asked Rahul first, and like, there better be a man on the panel, and then we had Som. So thanks, Som.
के बारे में बताइए किस टॉपिक पे आज डिस्कशन था इसके बारे में और चीज़ें कुछ
Topic था role of women in the Hindi film industry, and I think it should just be film industry because अब हिंदी या English अब मतलब मुझे लगता है कि एक there's been no I mean एक barrier नहीं बनाना चाहिए because आजकल हमारे पास audiences हैं जो English भी देखते हैं, हिंदी भी देखते हैं, there's a regional audience also. So I think it's just across all boards the film industry, and I think हमारे जो panelists थे सब different industries से आते हैं. Shanti is a producer, Mukta runs a film school, is a is successfully running these chains of theatres out here. There is Daria who's a filmmaker, I'm an actor, so I think everybody had a point of view एवरीबडी सबके पास एक ओपिनियन है, एक वॉइस है, एंड आई थिंक इट्स रियली नाइस कि एक्चुअली इन पैनल्स के थ्रू हम लोग की एजुकेशन भी हो जाती है, क्योंकि समटाइम्स एज एक्टर्स हमें पता नहीं कि व्हाट एज अ प्रोड्यूसर अ वुमन इज फेसिंग, और एज अ एजुकेटर व्हाट अ वुमन इज फेसिंग, और एज अ फिल्म मेकर व्हाट अ वुमन इज फेसिंग. सो आई थिंक दीज पैनल डिस्कशंस फॉर मी हैव बीन ऑलवेज बीन वेरी एनरिचिंग, बिकॉज मुझे सबकी बातें सुनने के लिए मिलती हैं, एंड आई ऑलवेज रियलाइज कि it's not easy for any of us. So let's not try to box ourselves and be like कि भाई हम actors हैं तो फिर हमारे लिए problems हैं. I think problems सबके लिए आती हैं, चाहे आप आदमी हैं, औरत हैं. And I think that was what I think I heard through this panel today.
What would you like to say?
I think for me the most important thing at this discussion is that we just need to realize what we can change. All of us, we know our problems. All of us, we are facing issues and harassment, but question is now I'm in a slightly different situation. Now I can take decisions. So what I can contribute in changing our industry?
I couldn't agree more with her. I think charity begins at home. So you don't need to go out there and make big changes. Start with yourself, start with your team, start ghar pe, start small. But make that change, yeah. It will become easier for everybody because you had a difficult time. Make sure कि दूसरे और को आप ये difficult time और आसान कर दें उनके लिए. Just because you had a tough time, make it easier for somebody else because you know how it is to be in that place where it's a struggle.
Okay, ना जिस तरीके से हमने सुना अभी पहले डिस्कशन में, आपने भी अपना एक इंसिडेंट बताया, वो उसके बारे में कुछ बताइए.
बता तो दिया मैंने आपको और इससे ज़्यादा क्या बताऊँगी.
No, I mean basically मतलब जो और भी वुमेन्स जो हैं, लड़कियाँ जो नहीं कह पाती, जो रिएक्ट नहीं कर पाती हैं, उनके लिए क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे, उनके लिए क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
देखिए, किसी के लिए भी आसान नहीं होता है, और ये मैंने एज शी सेड कि चैरिटी बिगिंस एट होम. ये सब चीज़ें घर पे घटनाएं घटती हैं, चाहे आप लड़का हो या लड़की हो. कई बार हमारे खुद के कज़न्स, हमारे खुद के अंकल्स, हमारे खुद की आंटीज़ कई बार ऐसी चीज़ें करती हैं जो आपको स्कार करके छोड़ देती हैं बचपन में, और कभी कभी आप उस गिल्ट के थ्रू पूरी ज़िंदगी जी लेते हैं. बहुत लोग ऐसे भी होते हैं जिनको आई फील एज एक्टर्स वी आर सो लकी दैट मेरे पास एक इमोशनल वेंट है. मतलब जब मैं स्टेज पे जाती हूँ तो मेरे लिए एक इमोशनल सीन है, तो अगर मान लीजिए मेरे पास कोई ऐसी इमोशनल मेमोरी है जिसको मैं सोच के आई कैन डू दैट सीन, इट्स रियली आई फील ब्लेस्ड दैट आई हैव अ प्लेस आई कैन वेंट इट आउट. इमेजिन आप एक ऐसे प्रोफेशन में हैं जहाँ पर आप कोई अपना इमोशन ही नहीं दिखा सकते हैं. सो हाउ डज़ इट फील टू बी लाइक दैट? आई रियली टेल यू कि इट्स बीन अ ट्रू ब्लेसिंग फॉर मी दैट मैं इतनी बार किसी कोई ऐसा सीन कर रही हूँ जहाँ पर मुझे लाइक आई हैव टू बी एन इमोशनल wreck एंड आई गो बैक टू अ मेमोरी विच हैज़ मेड मी फील सो बैड अबाउट माई सेल्फ, और सो बैड अबाउट कि ये मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हुआ. बट मैंने उसको सोच के आई डिड दैट सीन एंड आई थिंक समवेयर आई वेंटेड इट आउट. बट आप वो सोचिए कि कितने लोग ऐसे होते हैं जैसे डॉक्टर्स या इंजीनियर्स या लॉयर्स जो अपने इमोशंस दिखा ही नहीं सकते. पुलिस वाली औरतें जो होती हैं उन लोगों को हमेशा एक स्ट्रिक्ट एक स्टर्न आउटलुक रखना पड़ता है. तो उन लोगों की लाइफ में, सबकी लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं. आप सोचिए आदमियों की लाइफ में क्या प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं. लड़के तो रो भी नहीं सकते क्योंकि बचपन से ये बोला जाता है यू आर अ बॉय, यू आर नॉट सपोज टू क्राई. लड़के हो, लड़की हो, जैसे क्यों रो रहे हो. तो क्योंकि मेरा 2 साल का नेफ्यू है, तो अब हम लोगों ने उसको वो बोलना ही बंद कर दिया. हम लोग उसको बोलते ही नहीं है वो, बिकॉज समवेयर वी आर अवेयर दैट वी शुड नॉट से थिंग्स लाइक डोंट क्राई. अब उसको आंसू आ रहे हैं तो वो रोएगा, बच्चा है वो. आप बचपन से ये फीड मत करिए दिमाग में कि तुम लड़के हो तो तुम रो नहीं सकते हो, तुम लड़की हो तो तुम ये ऐसे नहीं बैठ सकती हो. आई थिंक अ ह्यूमन बीइंग शुड बी अलाउड टू बी फ्री फ्रॉम दैट चाइल्डहुड, एंड आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव लर्न थ्रू ऑल माई एक्सपीरियंसेस, एंड आई होप आई कैन जस्ट continue to do this with the younger generation and the generations to come.
ओके, ना इसी के साथ वुमेन्स डे भी आ रहा है. कोई एक ऐसी वुमेन जो जिससे आप बहुत ज़्यादा प्रभावित हो, आप जिससे बहुत ज़्यादा इंस्पायर्ड हो?
मेरे पास बहुत ऐसी औरतें, बट मेरी माँ और मेरी बहन मेरे सबसे बड़ी इंस्पिरेशंस है. मेरी माँ पुलिस वाली हैं, 3 बच्चों को झेला उन्होंने.
Hats off.
Yeah. और 3 kids, and I tell you we are not easy kids. And I'm sure Meghna and Shanti know with kids it's never going to be easy. So it's not easy to have children. And so my mother, who's an officer, has served in the police for 40 years and has had a lucrative career. Today she can at least look back and say कि at least मैंने घर पे इन तीनों के पीछे अपनी लाइफ नहीं बर्बाद की. I've had, and all of them are working women, and I'm sure all of them resonate with the same voice. To be able to leave your child. आज सुबह जब मैं कैब से आ रही थी आज, I was talking to my sister. My sister she's in a perfume business, so she's a perfumer. But at the age of हमारा 2 साल का नेफ्यू है, लेकिन फॉर हर टू लाइक जस्ट लीव द बेबी, गो टू वर्क, कम बैक एंड डू हर जिम. वो एक मेजर फिटनेस फ्रीक है. तो तो उसको इतना फैसिलिटेटिंग, उसने अपनी लाइफ इतनी एनरिचिंग कर रखी है कि उसको ये लगता है कि भाई अगर मैं अपने बच्चे के पीछे पूरी लाइफ ख़राब कर दूंगी, सो व्हेन आई एम 80 और व्हेन आई एम 60 आई हैव टू लुक बैक एंड बी लाइक मैंने क्या किया अपनी लाइफ के साथ. सो आई थिंक इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर ऑल women टू बी एबल टू हैव अ लाइफ, अ फैमिली, a husband, have problems with all the family members, and to be able to run a full-time career. So
At the same time, I want to add to that
Yeah.
कि आना जो कह रही है about working women, बहुत सारी जो औरतें जो काम कर रही हैं वो बच्चा पैदा करने से पहले 10 बार सोचती हैं
Yeah.
आजकल, बिकॉज वो बोलती हैं जस्टिस नहीं कर पाएंगी, गिल्टी फील करती हैं. मैं उनसे ये कहना चाहूँगी कि मेरे 2 बच्चे हैं. मेरी बेटी 3 महीने की थी जब से मैंने काम शुरू किया, वो मेरे साथ ऑफिस में आती थी, आना नोस. जो उनके आँखों में आपके लिए प्राइड होती है वो किसी की आंखों में नहीं मिलती आपको. जो आपके बच्चे देखते हैं कि मेरी माँ काम करती है, मेरी माँ घर संभालती है, जब हमें ज़रूरत है वो हमारे लिए होती है, you are being a role model for them. So please, my appeal to all working women is, or working women who want to have babies, don't stop yourself. I'm telling you, हम औरतों में एक सुपर पावर होता है जो हम मैनेज कर लेते हैं, और वो जो बच्चों के लिए हम रोल मॉडल बनते हैं, जैसे आना की मम्मी उनके लिए रोल मॉडल है, वो उससे ज़्यादा आपको क्या पुरस्कार चाहिए, आपको क्या अवार्ड चाहिए.
वो कहना चाहिए कि सब जिस तरीके से और कैप्टन इज बैक, अभिनंदन इज बैक, तो क्या कहना चाहेंगे उनके
Sorry, किसके लिए?
कैप्टन
अभिनंदन.
अभिनंदन
हाँ.
सो और जिस तरीके से देश के हालात हैं, क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
अरे कैप्टन अभिनंदन तो अभी हीरो है, उनको हम अभिनंदन, उनकी माँ अभिमन देगी. तो बेसिकली आई मीन आई थिंक लाइक वी शुड नॉट टेक अवे फ्रॉम द फैक्ट कि उनके पेरेंट्स इतने काम रहे थ्रू दिस होल थिंग. आई मीन किसी का भी बच्चा अगर सरहद पार जाता है, आई थिंक टू बी एबल टू शो दैट काइंड ऑफ करेज एंड वैलर, आपकी अपब्रिंगिंग वो रियली शो करता है. एंड आई थिंक आई हैव टू गिव इट टू हिज पेरेंट्स.
जिस तरीके से देश के हालात हैं अभी जो चल रहे हैं, जिस तरीके का होता है, लोग कह रहे हैं कि वॉर होना चाहिए, आपका क्या व्यू है, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
भैया वॉर होगा तो हमारे घर टूटेंगे, वॉर नहीं होनी चाहिए. देयर रियली शुडंट बी एनी वॉर. इनफैक्ट इट वाज सो वियर्ड बिकॉज जस्ट आई थिंक जब ये कैप्टन अभिनंदन का, जब विंग कमांडर अभिनंदन का ये पूरा इशू स्टार्ट हुआ, समवेयर आई वेंट बैक होम दैट नाइट एंड वेंट लाइक कि व्हाट इफ देयर इज अ वॉर, व्हाट विल हैपन टू आवर चिल्ड्रन. एंड आई थिंक नाउ बिकॉज वी हैव अ चाइल्ड एट होम, आई सडनली डोंट थिंक अबाउट कि हमारे साथ क्या होगा. आई गो लाइक कि हमारे बच्चों का क्या होगा, सो मेरे थॉट्स ही आई थिंक पूरे बदल गए हैं. एंड आई रियली डोंट वांट इट बिकॉज अभी तो मतलब देयर आर किड्स, आई मीन फॉर हेवन सेक डू इट फॉर द चिल्ड्रन.
No, I agree with her. Yeah, we have to just be better people and make this country better. We have the opportunity to do that. We have the opportunity to teach the right things. So I think we should work towards that. Thank you.